Jokic is the best basketball player in the world.
Disrespect.
Jokic is the best basketball player in the world. He has been the best basketball player in the world for the past 3 years.
Did they watch him play in the playoffs last year? Did they watch any of the playoff games?
Oh, he should have won the MVP.
Cause we way too high for you. Tripping like we got too much on. Don't think got love before us. Cause we staying all night long. Yo, when we walk in the club, you better believe we know what's up. Got these girls a little trance. Throwing random in the dance.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another rendition of the Bros and the Berg podcast. I know you missed us. Don't worry. We're back. Just a little siesta. We had some busy stuff going on in our lives. If you're joining us for the first time, however, welcome. We appreciate you tuning in. My name is Ryan Doyle. I'm the co-host of this lovely podcast, joined by the gentleman in the backwards hat, the other co-host, Robbie Bergstone, and the one with the big head forwards hat. Makes this whole shindig run. Our executive producer, Connor Doyle. Round of applause for him. He does. He does in fact have a big fucking head.
It's a massive cranium.
The date of recording this podcast is the beautiful October 17th, in the middle of probably one of the best sports weeks of the year. Playoff baseball, middle of NFL and college football season. Hockey started. Basketball's right around the corner. And just so much more. Connor, what are we starting off with today?
So as you said, there are many sports to cover right now, but the first thing we're doing is not covering any of them because we're gonna do a little game.
Damn straight.
We did this game last time, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was really funny. So we're gonna do it again. Basically, what we did last time is that we had to say the same player at the same time, and we kept going through it. And I think we maxed it out at 10 tries. So basically, you're gonna say a player, and then if you try to get closer and closer and closer until you finally get it. It's a pretty easy game. I mean, if you don't pick it up now, I promise you will very soon. So who wants to participate first in this? What
was our best score last time? I think it was you two. You got it in like 3.
That
was really
Connor,
impressive.
You and I got to go. Connor, you and I got to go again.
I think you guys go last. I think you guys got to go last as the reigning
no.
champs. You want to go first?
That's fine. God.
I'm trying to give you your props. I'm giving you honors. You know.
That's true. Thanks for that. That's really sweet of you.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I think so Robbie, should it be you and me first this time since it was you and Ryan first last time?
That works for me.
All right. I'm ready. I got one already. I'm geared. I'm locked.
He's geared, apparently.
Indeed.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Pick him.
Lawrence Taylor.
Sammy Sosa. It's not great. It's not great.
It's not ideal.
It's not awesome.
Okay.
Lawrence Taylor and Sammy Sosa.
Okay.
Pretty simple premise for our new viewers. They just try to guess the same player.
Indeed.
And they try to get closer and closer to that player with every round, and they see how quickly they can get it. Starting off with LT and Sosa, it's gonna take a little bit to get these gentlemen together. So we'll see if they can get it. All right, round 2. We got 3, 2, 1. Pick 'em.
Mark McGwire.
Albert Pujols.
Okay, that's not bad.
Was very good, actually.
That's not bad. We're now officially on the same team.
I'm a casual.
We're now officially on the same team, Connor.
God.
I personally, I feel like there's just one way to go. One guy to go to.
I have a name in my mind.
Don't know baseball at all.
I should not have gone baseball with Connor. That's probably a bad decision.
You know this guy.
Probably my fault.
You know this guy.
Are you ready?
All right, round 3. 3, 2, 1. Pick him.
Nelson Cruz.
Who?
I said Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Just not where I thought we were going with this gentleman.
Did you not think that's where I was going either?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
I just thought of somebody. Holy crap. Okay, it wouldn't have been. Okay.
Good. All right.
I'm there, I think.
All right.
We'll see. Round 4. 3, 2, 1. Pick him.
Yadier Molina.
Goldschmidt.
That's where I would have gone. That's where I would have gone, Rob.
Or
after the Wainwright.
Goldschmidt's on the Cardinals, isn't he? Or am I tripping?
He was at one point. I can't remember if he's still there or not.
Just a random pick.
So what did you say, Rob?
Yadier Molina?
Yeah. That was the correct pick after Wainwright.
Okay. I'm just all right. I'm gonna be 100% honest, Rob. I'm throwing out a random. He's not a random, but it's a random name.
It's just not helpful. I mean, unless you're Connor's gonna get you off baseball.
Don't know.
That's where my brain is at. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Round 5, and we're switching sports, so this is just a tough scene for the gentleman.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Pick 'em.
Sam
Dwight
Bradford.
Howard.
That's I tried to stay in the same city at least. Like Sam Bradford played for the St. Louis Rams.
At a certain point, I just name random people.
Way too logical for Connor. I mean, he just literally pulled what he found out of his ass, and that's what he went with.
You said Dwight Howard?
Yes, it's Sam Bradford.
It's not good,
great, Jim.
All right, Connor, we're getting late. I'm gonna come to you. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
That's just table talk, but alas.
Yeah, that's all right.
Or I think after round 5, a little bit of table talk is allowed.
Okay.
All right. We can make that amendment. All right. Into round 6. Still on a different sport again. So we'll see how this goes. 3, 2, 1. Pick 'em.
Shaquille O'Neal.
That's just. I just don't believe that. I just simply. We need
Clutch.
We need the officials to review that one.
We need the VAR on that.
What's wrong with that?
It was all above the table, man. It was all above the table.
I can't wait to watch that one back and just see how slow you two jokers said Shaquille O'Neal.
I was going Shaquille O'Neal the whole way. Dwight Howard and the other Magic center is Shaquille O'Neal. That's where your mind goes. I mean,
I almost went with I couldn't remember his name, but who was the guy that was on Dwight Howard's team when they made the finals? The Eastern European guy.
Rashard Lewis. No. Rashard Lewis. I'm trying to think of that team. Hito Turkoglu?
Yeah. Turkoglu. It's not Peja.
I know.
I had Peja in my mind. I knew that wasn't right.
I know NBA 2K11 rosters.
Connor's like, I know ball.
I swear.
I know that team, but yeah, it's bad. All right, I guess it's
Hito Turkoglu is who I was thinking of. That's
let's
correct.
go, baby. I guess it's Ryan and Robbie's turn.
Okay.
Robbie and I obviously had a very successful performance there, and I'm not going to hear otherwise. The guy, the random that was going to, not a random player, but it was just random in comparison to what we were at. I was going to say Ichiro. I don't know why.
We would have been in deep shit if you said Ichiro.
After you said Pujols and McGuire, I thought Barry Bonds. I thought you guys were going to go sluggers.
I thought about that too, but I wasn't sure if Connor was going to make that leap.
Well, he said same team, so I tried to think of a Cardinals player.
Yeah, and as soon as he said same team, you were fucked. Because
I got it next round.
Cardinals players.
I got a Goldschmidt next round.
After Molina and Wainwright, I would have been in a little bit of trouble. A little bit. Jason Hayward, he played for the Cardinals for a little bit.
There you go. All right, I guess it's your turn. So, you gentlemen, ready? You have somebody in mind?
Yes.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Bryce Young.
Clayton Kershaw.
Yikes. That's not ideal.
It's not awesome.
Where do we go from there?
That's very different.
It's really, really different. Yeah. Opposite sides of the country, different sports.
Yeah.
Old versus
young. Old. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's terrible. All right. No table talk yet. Let's be there.
Yep.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Mark Ingram. I thought about it for a half second to say Stafford.
A quarterback and Clayton Kershaw. That was the meeting point right there. That was it.
No, I was thinking because Stafford and Kershaw went to the same high school in Dallas.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I was like.
No, that's why I made that because every time that Stafford's on during the playoffs, I just talk about him and Kershaw. So I'm like a quarterback and Clayton Kershaw. That's the middle point is Matthew Stafford.
That was the first name that went in my head. I'm actually upset that I didn't go for it.
I thought you might. I actually thought you might get there.
So Stafford and Ingram.
Stafford and Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram.
This is not great.
3, 2, 1.
Calvin Johnson.
Yes!
Oh my God.
Yes.
I came to you, baby.
I thought you might. I was like, I think you might come to me on that one. So it's a tie.
It is. The record is tied currently.
Good stuff.
So I guess it's Ryan and I, the defending champs, have to do it.
All right,
I'm ready.
You guys ready?
I've had somebody locked in.
Oh,
I got two guys in mind right now, but I'm going one.
you got a lot of guys in your mind. Let's be honest. All right, 3,
Rent free.
2, 1.
Barry
Tracy
Sanders.
McGrady. Yikes.
Oh.
You guys really just get to Texas and just stay there, don't you? It's really
What did I went out of the box. Now, do I go to Connor or does he come to me?
Okay, I got somebody.
This will be interesting.
Okay.
all right.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Ricky
Ronnie
Williams.
Lott.
Okay. All
Connor, we're
right.
All right. You ready?
I'm there.
You got a name?
Yeah, no, I'm ready.
got it.
All right.
Connor knows
3,
this.
2, 1.
Lester
Lester
Hayes.
Yes, baby, let's go. God, it's so clutch to have played NFL Street together when we grew up.
Ridiculous.
Dude,
Connor went right to NFL Street after my first pick, and then we locked in because he said LT at the first round. So that's what's like, okay, that's what I'm going to go to.
That's where Connor's head is at, is NFL Street.
NFL Street. Oh, what a game.
What
a game.
Again, with all the guys.
So in the case of a tie, champion's advantage. So Ryan and I do retain onto.
I think that's fair. I'll give you that. Ryan and I had a shot at 2. We had a shot at 2, which is upsetting. But
I remember he almost said Stafford. He was that close.
It was actually like no bullshit. The first name in my mind. I should have just gone with the gut.
Why did you say Mark Ingram? What was the thought process there?
Same with Bama.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
I did not.
That was the thought process.
That was too deep for me. I did not think
Heisman
that far.
Trophy winner, like Bama, kind of. There was a theme.
There's only 3 guys that you can go with. 4,
right?
4. So
yeah.
I always forget Ingram went to Alabama because I feel like he just gets overshadowed by so many of the
like first Heisman Trophy winner in the history of the University of Alabama, which is crazy.
Yeah, and like nobody, I just never remember that he played it.
He had a very good career, not great, but good.
Yeah, 100%.
He reminds me of like Reggie Bush's career. Like, won a Heisman, was a really good college player, and like has been a very serviceable like running back in the NFL, but really hasn't been a star in the NFL.
Yep. But Robbie, speaking of Reggie Bush's Heisman, should he have it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You're asking the USC fan if he should have it?
Yeah. he should have it.
You mean for like the shit that they do nowadays for free?
Correct. Also, like when they got in trouble for it, it was like kind of like even with the NCAA rules then, it was kind of like iffy if like Reggie shouldn't have gotten as much trouble as he did.
Yeah.
And then now you can do it openly and like not get in trouble. Come on.
Correct. Oh, look, the Phillies are winning.
Speaking of the Heisman, and speaking of college football, we're gonna before we get to baseball, because we will certainly get there. We're going to talk about college football. That's our biggest thing. We're gonna trim down on most of the sports today, mostly because it is the week before the start of the NBA regular season, and we kind of wanted to do a deep dive into the NBA and what we think the season is going to look like and where we think the standings are going to fall out. So today's going to be a basketball-heavy podcast. We are going to cover football and obviously the MLB playoffs currently, but they're going to be shorter, more summarized, paraphrased. So we're going to get into it here. I got one headline in terms of the college football stuff. Georgia All-American tight end Brock Bowers was scheduled to have surgery on his injured left ankle Monday, the school announced. So obviously that sucks for Georgia.
For like a dynasty, he's like was potentially like first round pick caliber. Yep. I mean, he just was getting absolutely fed. Hell of a player. It's a big loss for them.
Huge loss for the Georgia offense as a whole. I mean, he was your go-to guy when you needed someone.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting to see who steps up for that offense. I mean, I don't think their schedule is getting any harder. I think they'll be fine, but it's a big loss.
100%. So yeah, we're gonna get into the college football results from week 7 here, and like I said, it's gonna be shorter here. So I'm gonna go through some of the biggest ones. Arguably the most notable one, a top 10 matchup between the two Pac-12 schools, Washington and Oregon, with Michael Penix and the Washington Huskies, coming out on top, 36-33. Washington, them boys. I think Robbie, didn't you predict them as a?
It's Penix season, baby. I've been saying it, Connor. I've been saying it.
Whoa!
I've
been saying it.
No, because who picked them to go to the playoff? I don't think you did, Connor.
This is true. I'll give you that.
Great game though. I mean, all the way through, back and forth. I think it was one of those games that you really didn't know who's going to win until the last whistle. You actually didn't. I mean, Oregon had a field goal to tie it and missed it. being at home probably was the difference in this game. I think you put them on a neutral field, like you really don't know what's going to happen. So curious to see if they can both get back to the Pac-12 championship game. It's going to be tough.
100%.
Some good teams in the Pac-12 this year, so we'll see. But really, really good ball game.
The best Pac-12 has looked since
since Pete Carroll was coaching USC. Like I don't think that's
like predating the playoff.
Like probably when Dennis Dixon almost won the Heisman at Oregon.
Right.
Which was like 2008.
Yeah. That's
15 years Usually ago. There would be like there'd be one, maybe two good teams out of the Pac-12. But right now, I mean, you legitimately have 3 teams that are solidly top 10 with another 3 sprinkled that are top 20. So very, very solid. And then they're blowing it all up. So there you go.
Yeah. And I saw something on ESPN. It was like the Pac-12 quarterbacks giving us a farewell tour like no others, and I was like, "That's very
legitimately."
True.
Actually,
it's going to be interesting next year.
The conference is riding off into the sunset.
Like, they actually,
and it's Bo Nix season.
It's
it's Michael Penix season.
But Bo Nix had a chance to make it Bo Nix season.
He did. He had a chance,
and he didn't do it.
He didn't do it. So continuing on here, we're just going to get this out of the way. Alabama defeating Arkansas in a narrow victory, 24-21. What do we make of the Crimson Tide's performance this past weekend, gentlemen?
Took their foot off the gas. I mean, they absolutely could have put this game away in the middle of the third quarter and just got sloppy again.
First half, Jalen Milroe looked great.
I think he keeps improving. He just has to just has to keep putting it together. So,
and I keep saying looked great for the first 3 quarters, and then just got fucking lazy.
You know what? We don't need style points. We just got to keep winning. That's literally all that matters at this point. Is just keep winning football games because you'll get in the playoff if you win out. So
that's all Georgia's doing. They're beating Vandy. They're letting Vandy score 3 scores on them. And
that was Vandy's first cover of the year, by the way. First time they beat the spread all year.
Anchor fucking down.
Anchor down for real.
That's actually insane.
Yep.
Continuing on with the theme of alma maters, we'll talk about mine real quick. Oklahoma State defeating Kansas 39-32. I predicted this in the predictions that we did last week. I had a weird feeling coming into the game. I was like, I think we're gonna win. Like I had a weird feeling. I was like, I think we're gonna win this game. Their starting quarterback isn't starting. Our offense finally puts it.
Know that.
Yeah, he did not start.
I'm a casual. My apologies.
He did. We probably would have lost, but
he was a super late scratch against. OU or Texas, I forgot which one they played.
Texas,
but he went through warm-ups, was in the locker room, and it was like 45 minutes before game time scratch. So there's something obviously still going on with him, and he's probably one of their most talented guy on offense.
So the current Big 12 standings, the 4 new teams are currently occupying the basement. All 4 of them are in last place currently. That's pretty wild, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, Oklahoma State. A one-man show with Ollie Gordon, who is our running back, with almost 300 yards between rushing and receiving yards. And I keep telling people, I was like, and I'm not trying to hype him up too much, obviously, because he goes here. But dude is a Derrick Henry archetype. Like he literally is Derrick. If he was one click faster, like slightly faster, he would be. I think he would have that sort of potential. It's actually
needs to unhitch the trailer sometimes. But I've seen him dribble multiple grown men's head off.
Well, I texted Connor not this past week and the weekend before, and I'm like, he just keeps stiff arming people, and it's really disrespectful. But I'm here for it.
100%. But yeah, I mean, thankfully, Alan Bowman, who's finally landed on a quarterback. The hell, Gundy. He landed on him as a quarterback. It makes the offense a lot more comfortable to have a consistent quarterback. He's played well enough to obviously put us in good positions and stuff. Our secondary is atrocious. Our secondary is so bad. It's so bad. It's embarrassing. But also Colin Oliver, who is one of our D linemen, every time you need him to make a stop on defense, he's there. Like every single time, this happens almost every game that we win. It's like he will disappear for the first 3 quarters, not because like he's bad or anything, but usually because he's getting double teamed and so he can't really do much. But then when we're about to win and we need one last stop, he makes every single play on that drive. It's actually insane. He does it every single time that we're about to win. But thankfully, we look like we're finally rolling a little bit more. Not that we're to the caliber of OU or Texas in the Big 12, but we are better than I think what our first initial game showed us. And thanks to Ollie Gordon and consistent quarterback play, so I think we will be better. Not that we'll be great, but thankfully, it won't be as bad of a year as I think a lot of Oklahoma State fans thought it would be after the first
bowl eligibility, hopefully on the way.
I mean, realistically, after being Kansas and Kansas State, you guys are back to being the third best team of the Big 12 because of how bad the Big 12 is this year, behind Oklahoma and Texas.
Not wrong. I mean, yeah, and we still play Cincy, UCF, BYU, and I mean, like you said, they're not good this year. So we should have wins there. So yeah, continuing on here, another ranked matchup between number 10 USC and number 21 Notre Dame. Notre Dame coming out on top 48-20. Now, gentlemen, in our predictions, we all predicted USC, but I will say I'm not shocked at this result.
I'm not shocked that Notre Dame won. I'm shocked that it was this big of a margin.
Yeah,
yep.
Dude.
I'm not at all surprised that Notre Dame won this game, but the fact that Caleb Williams was as shut down as you can get him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the USC defense is atrocious. And it's the same thing you saw with Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. Like he does not know how to coach defense for some reason. And they're just really, really bad. I mean, this Notre Dame team that's lost to Louisville last weekend. Like, this is not a very good Notre Dame team.
Yeah, except for
and Notre Dame offense didn't necessarily score 48 points. Is the fact that they had so many damn turnovers. I mean, Hartman didn't even throw for 150 yards.
Yeah.
Like, it was just the fact that USC was losing the field position battle all night, and they just kept shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, USC actually outgained them in total 302 yards to 251. Notre Dame had 251 yards of total offense, but up 48 points.
And you lose by 4 touchdowns, and
because they turned the ball over 5 times.
That's
5
wild.
Times.
Yeah. I didn't realize they had 250 yards.
Yeah, the offense didn't even do anything special. They just lost the field position battle.
Mm-hmm. Continuing on here, number 12, North Carolina takes care of business against number 25, Miami, 41-31 there.
We all called that one. Good job, fellas.
Really knocking the Hurricanes right out of the top 25. Right. So
they came in, said hello, and
exactly
departed.
Adios.
Another Pac-12 / Big Ten. Oregon State defeating UCLA 36-24.
Go Beavs.
Yeah.
Good rebound for them. They'd had a tough couple weeks. Got one back, so that's good.
And then a few upsets here. I think there were 3 top 25 upsets here. One I'm seeing right here. Missouri having a decent season. Missouri
looks pretty. Missouri should be undefeated. They should have beaten LSU.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I mean Missouri
is 6-1. They host the Cox this upcoming week.
Yeah, they're terrible.
In the Mayor's Cup. There's a rivalry game there now. I don't know if you guys do that because they're both in Columbia, Missouri, and Columbia, South Carolina. So got the Mayor's Cup.
They should win against 2-4 South Carolina. Then they go to Georgia.
Sans Brock Bowers.
That could be a little bit spooky.
That could be fun.
Because last year, Missouri should have beat Georgia, if we remember.
Missouri is your mother's alma mater, Robbie? Is that correct?
That is correct.
There you go. Shout out Ms. Bergson.
The one game I've been to at Georgia, Missouri was playing there, and they actually beat Georgia in Athens. So maybe I should go in a couple weekends.
Yeah, there you go. Like how you guys coming to Bedlam, right? Like how you guys are coming to Stillwater for OSU. Moving on here, Washington State getting their shit rocked against Arizona, 44-6. Wow.
Yeah, Arizona playing well. They gave USC a 3 overtime scare not too long ago as well.
That was that 40 man. Wazoo. What the hell?
That's what I would classify as a shit pump.
Yes, that is for sure a shit pump.
That's unfortunate for Wazoo. They're having a decent season, and then they're just falling apart a little bit here at the.
Yeah, they got that big Oregon State win, lost 2 in a row since.
Yeah,
then.
I know. Another one. I think this is the last, if I'm not mistaken, the last top 25 upset. Yes, it is. Louisville, after coming off the win against Notre Dame, loses to Pitt 38-21.
Classic letdown game. Tales old as time. They put all their emotions into that Notre Dame game and could not get it done against the Panthers.
Indeed.
One other game I think we have to mention, not a top 25 upset, but an upset nonetheless. Colorado blowing a ginormous lead against the Stanford Cardinal,
To a very bad Stanford team.
Very bad Stanford team.
29-0 at half.
Something like that, yeah.
Shutout at halftime. Yeah, Dion was less than pleased after the game.
Can't blame him.
No, 100%.
No,
yeah,
you cannot.
100%. So yeah, that is our review for week 7. We're going to get into our preview for week 8, which consists of doing our pick'em. Robbie has selected the matchups that we will be picking for this week. So he's going to talk about that now.
Yeah, quick standing update from this past week. I actually got to do it in my head real fast right now.
I'm bad.
Looks like
Basement.
Connor went 3-2 last week.
Okay.
That puts him to 20-15 overall.
All right, that's all right.
So
you make money.
He's coming back. I've been slacking lately. I had a nice 2-3 week last week again. I think it's my third in a row. It's tough. We're 23-12.
So catching up to you. I didn't realize I was
within 3 games now.
Yeah.
Ryan went 2-3 as well. 2-3 as well.
All right.
So he's now 18-17. I forgot it one. He was not 16-4. If you looked at the Instagram, that is not the right thing.
What do you mean?
So 17.
I don't know what you're talking.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Or 18 and 17. That's it. Yeah, nailed it.
About 500.
We need some sort of prop to like signify who the winner of the week was, like a belt or like a trophy or something.
Oh, you can have that, didn't you?
We need to get that.
Just hold up your hands and you can like Photoshop it in later, right?
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah.
Ryan, before we get into the thing, I wanted to ask: is your Spider-Man background in honor of the Spider-Man 2 game that came out?
Absolutely.
I'm so hype.
It's coming out at 20.
Absolutely. It comes out like Friday, so like Thursday night at midnight.
I never played the first one. I played the Miles Morales one though. The Miles Morales one was super. It's just short, but it's super fun.
I've played both of them. I probably won't buy this one immediately, but I will be purchasing at some point for sure.
It looks fun. Looks
Very
good.
well.
It's getting good. It's getting great reviews too, especially for it being a sequel that they probably didn't change a lot in terms of like the mechanics, but it's getting really good reviews.
I mean, why change it if it's like
right
good? Like yeah,
correct. Yeah, the combat stuff is great.
Assassin's Creed, dumbass franchise. Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
Anyways, getting into pick'em, we got 5 games teed up here. We got 4 top 25 matchups, and then one that I just threw in for fun because I can't.
Nice.
First matchup up, game of the weekend. I think it's the Big Noon Kick. I'm guessing it's the Big Noon Kick. We got Penn State at Ohio State, visiting the Horseshoe. 2 6-0 teams, 2 top 10 teams. Fellas, what do we think?
I'll go. Oh, no, I won't. Ryan cleared his throat. That means he goes.
No. Connor, please take
this. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. The Buckeyes are frauds. The Buckeyes are frauds, and Penn State. The Penn State Nittany Lions have looked like one of the most complete teams this entire year. I've always been a Penn State naysayer. Every year, I have not liked Penn State. Every year, it seems like the committee ranks them way too high. Not the committee. The beginning of the season, 8 people ranks them way too high. They're always in the top 10. And a lot of times, they fall out of it really quickly. This year, Penn State is not fraudulent. Ohio State is fraudulent. Penn State will win this game over the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State's only favored by 4 at home, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which essentially makes it a pick'em game. And I think that Penn State comes out on top.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. It comes down to every year in the Big Ten, there are like 3 games. It's Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan playing around robin. The other side of the Big Ten doesn't even fucking exist. Like Connor said, Penn State has looked really good all year. Ohio State squeaked out a victory against Notre Dame because Notre Dame didn't have 11 people on the field. Yep. Got absolutely lucky. It's Penn State's year. I really do feel like there's something in happy. It's Penn State's year to make the playoff.
Wow, that's a statement right there. Over Michigan?
Book it.
Wow.
Book it right fucking here.
Penn State. I was gonna ask you if you want to do this, but since you both picked Penn State, I'll just do it myself. Not so fucking fast. We want to talk about the Penn State as a complete team. Have you looked at who they played?
Correct. They've played fucking all.
Literally no one. And yeah, Ohio State eked out a win against Notre Dame. Then they had a bye, and then they've rolled over 2 decent Big Ten teams in the last 2 weeks. They beat Maryland, who maybe not great, but like they're not a terrible team. And then they went on the road, expelled their demons in West Lafayette easily last weekend. One of those games
could be the worst trap game doink team we've seen in a while.
I Is Ohio State one of the 4 best teams in the country this year? No. I've seen nothing from Penn State that makes me think they should be this great team. Yeah, they've beaten who they're supposed to beat, but they've played literally no one. You could put any Power 5 team in their fucking schedule, and they'd probably be 6-0 too. I don't care. Ohio State already won on the road at Notre Dame, which is way tougher than any game Penn State's played this year. Give me the Buckeyes, and they cover. How about that?
The Iowa disrespect is crazy there.
No, they can keep the disrespect.
Yeah,
what do we think about the 46.5 line? Just out of curiosity.
Wait, what? I thought you meant for that game. I was like, what?
At 46.5 points. That's the
over.
That's the over.
I thought you were talking about the spread. I was like, what?
That feels high. I think this is going to be similar to that Notre Dame game where it's going to be a little bit more low scoring.
I would have to agree.
I mean,
we'll keep an eye on that.
Like 35-0 Penn State.
Huh? I kind of like Ohio State
odds on that.
yeah. I kind of like Ohio State like 24-14, something along those lines.
Damn.
It's kind of what I got in my head. But
all right,
21-17 Penn State. Book it.
The next game up, we're gonna go to the third Saturday in October. One of the best rivalries in college football. We have Tennessee visiting Alabama, an Alabama team going to be out for revenge after what happened in Knoxville last year. First win for Tennessee in God knows how long. But nice 3:30 kick for you on CBS. Something like that, yeah.
Sounds like you guys are coping. That's what
it sounds big like. Time, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, you're not wrong.
Oh yeah. Who wants to go first here?
I'll go first. I don't care if Tennessee's number 1 and Alabama hasn't won a game all year. There's just simply no way that I'm going to pull up and pick Tennessee to beat Alabama. I just, in my soul, I can't do it. That being said, I do think Alabama wins this game because they are just a better team this year. They keep getting closer and closer to feeling like they're going to put one together and put a full game together where they control a game, play well all the way through. Jalen Milroe is getting better week by week. Like I said, I think the whole team just kind of took their foot off the gas. In the second half last week, that's not going to be a problem against Tennessee. They'll all remember what happened last year. They're going to be fired up at home. I like Alabama. 9 points is a little spooky, but I could see a 10-point Alabama win, 10-point, 14-point Alabama win. I don't think that's out of the cards.
Got them at home. We fucked up last year. Not going to happen again. Alabama wins this game. They've had a couple of close games back to back. I think we're going to be using that for fuel for the fire. I know these dudes are fired up. I know they've been hearing all that shit that Tennessee's back. Saban is just rolling in that.
The bulletin board material is insane this week. It's insane.
No way they let little brother do it to them again. Just not happening. Bama wins. Bama covers.
Auburn's little brother. Tennessee is like that kid in school who like is just fucking annoying, and you really don't like him. And you don't really know why. But just something about him you don't like. That's what Tennessee is. Tennessee's that one kid in school.
You hate and love your little brother.
Yes, correct.
You hate and love your little brother, and that's kind of what goes with Auburn. Tennessee, right. You just want to punt them.
You don't smoke cigars after being Auburn. You smoke cigars after being Tennessee. That's the key difference there.
We smoke that Vol pack.
Smoke them if you got them.
Roll Tide.
Not. So no, I'm kidding. Yes.
I would. You want me to come to Stillwater? That would do it right there. That would get me on a plane.
I am also picking the Crimson Tide for this one. I agree with relatively everything that I just said. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Tennessee has the talent. Granted, obviously Alabama isn't as talented as they have been in previous years, but I feel like there's still a gap. I mean, guys, Tennessee lost to Florida earlier this year.
Yeah.
So.
And struggled with Austin Peay.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide here. I could honestly see it being 7 points. I agree with Robbie. I think the spread is kind of spooky in all honesty, but I mean, I don't.
Because I could see it being a touchdown. I think it'll be more, but that wouldn't shock me if it was a touchdown.
Correct.
Yeah. It's just with the way Alabama has not finished games.
Mm-hmm.
The scariest thing for me about this game is how our offensive line does. I think Tennessee has a pretty good front seven. If our offensive line can hold up against those bozos and Milroe actually has some time to make some reads instead of just running for his life, then I think we'll be okay.
Here's a crazy thought. How about we just simply move the pocket? I mean, is that difficult? Like, we have a quarterback that can run, and we're just going to have him drop back, 3-step drop every single play? Like, what are we doing?
Yep.
Tommy Reese fucking sucks. Anyways, the next game up. So fun stat for this week. We're actually going to pick a game from 5 different conferences, which is the first time we've ever done that. There's not a lot of really good games this weekend, but there's like one really good one per conference. So we're gonna pick a couple different ones across the board here. Next one up, got an ACC matchup. An opportunity for one of these two teams to probably clinch, or maybe not clinch, but put them in a really good spot to make the ACC title game. You got the Duke Blue Devils visiting the Florida State Seminoles. 7:30 kick in Tallahassee. I can go first this time. I haven't gone first yet today. I really like Duke. Duke has been a fantastic story this year, but I don't think they have Riley Leonard back yet. Their quarterback, they got hurt in the Notre Dame game. I don't think he's back. I don't think he'll play this weekend. I never saw the injury was, but I mean, it looked pretty bad. So I got Florida State. I think Florida State covers -14. I don't know that it's going to be overly close, which, like I said, I think if Duke had their quarterback, that'd be a different story. But Florida State is the better team. They have more talent. Without your best player, if you're Duke, I don't think you stand much of a chance. So I like the Seminoles.
Same. I'm also good.
I agree for all the same reasons.
Yeah, literally. I don't have anything else to add on that. Florida State, I think, is the better team. And they proved that they can go into the trenches and pull it out like they did with Clemson. And I think that's kind of a testament of a good team. I think when you get down in situations like that and you end up pulling it out and you look like you keep your composure the whole way through. And I feel like that's what Florida State's been this year. So I'm gonna stay with the Seminoles there.
The next game up, the last ranked matchup of the week. We're going out west. We got the Utah Utes coming into LA to play the USC Trojans in an 8:00 kick. Don't forget that last year Utah beat USC both times they played last year.
Damn.
Yep.
That's a tough look.
It's a tough scene.
I think USC is embarrassed by this most recent Notre Dame loss. I think Caleb Williams will have a bit of a chip on his shoulder, and we've seen Caleb Williams. I think we've seen Caleb Williams sink and swim in situations when he's had chips on his shoulders. I think sometimes he can let his emotions get the best of him, but that also doesn't negate the amount of talent that he has. I actually saw an NFL analyst talk the other day where I don't know if I agree with this statement. He said that if Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, and Joe Burrow were all in the same draft class, like they came out of their same senior year of college, he believes that Caleb Williams would go first over both
That's
Burrow
hysterical.
and Lawrence.
The only reason I hear that take is because everyone wants the next Mahomes. And like you watch Caleb Williams play and he makes all of those like ridiculous throws like he should never be making. I'm not saying Caleb Williams is Patrick Mahomes. Let's just get that out there before anyone comes at me.
That's what you said.
Like that's what the GMs always want to get the next Patrick Mahomes now. And like Caleb Williams is the guy that kind of plays like Mahomes does. Like in your head, you're like, I can make him Patrick Mahomes. It's like I can fix him. But
apparently that analyst forgot that Joe Burrow broke like every single record that season in 20. Granted, that team was amazing. Like
he had one of the best college seasons of all time.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, Lawrence was like, yeah. So I don't know.
I've been on the Trevor Lawrence is overrated train for a while. That hasn't really worked out, but
yeah, Ryan was on his meat earlier this year, and he's pretty good. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is pretty good. So I'm gonna go like I said. I think Caleb Williams' talent will ultimately get them over the edge, especially considering that Cam Rising isn't there. Granted, I don't think USC's defense is going to do much, even with a backup quarterback for Utah, because he's actually played pretty well this season. But I think USC comes out firing, comes out emotional, and puts a lot of points on Utah. So yeah, we're gonna go with USC.
Tough game. This game is going to be really hard to pick. This is the start of a brutal stretch for Utah that does USC, Oregon, Arizona State, and Washington and Arizona in 5 weeks. So a lot of football for them to be played. I feel like again Connor is onto something with. There's going to be a chip on USC's shoulder after getting embarrassed. 5 turnovers is unacceptable for a team that had national title contending hopes.
Mm-hmm.
Utah is missing one of their emotional leaders, but they've played in a lot of close games this year. All their games have been within like 10 points pretty much until the fourth quarter. So they know how to keep games close. I want to say USC does eke out this win. But it's going to be a very, very close game. Probably one of the best games this year, I think.
I'm going to agree with my co-hosts. Without Cam Rising, Utah in their first two Pac-12 games scored 14 and 7 points in consecutive weeks. They did put up 34 on Cal last weekend, but they only threw the ball for 128 yards.
Yeah.
As long as Caleb Williams doesn't throw another 3 picks, I just don't see that Utah has the offense to keep up with USC in this one. At home as well, I think USC wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't have 5 turnovers, and you might be competitive.
It's just simply that easy.
Yeah.
The last game we're picking, fellas. I haven't told you what this game is yet.
no.
You're not going to have any like in-depth analysis on this. I just want to throw this one out there. We got a matchup of 2 1-5 teams.
Oh,
And you might be asking yourself, why are we picking 2 1-5 teams? Well, the reason is that these two teams happen to play in the same state, and this is the first time that they've ever played each other. Despite being in the same state, we have the.
Can I guess it?
Yeah.
It's got to be a Big 12 game.
It's not. It is an AAC game.
Oh shit! I don't know that.
It's from my home state. We have the University of North Carolina at Charlotte 49ers visiting the East Carolina Pirates.
The Pirates.
Like I said, I saw a stat earlier this week that this is the first time they've ever played, which kind of makes sense because Charlotte's only had a program, a football program for like maybe 10 years at this point. So it kind of makes sense, but just kind of odd that they've never played. So anyone want to throw a dart at the board and pick it?
East Carolina Pirates. It's it is what it is. I feel like I've actually heard of them before, and I don't know if I've heard of the other team before, and so that is my entire reasoning.
It's a great take. It's a great take.
Yeah. Yeah.
ECU covered against Michigan week 1 of the year. ECU hasn't been shut out for like 20 straight years or something like that. And because of those two known facts that I have about ECU, they're going to win this game.
Hell yeah. Damn straight.
Also, Greenview is like just apparently one of the craziest college towns.
Greenville, yes.
Greenville, excuse me.
But yes, G Vegas.
I'm begging you to use it not so fast on this one.
Not so fast.
Yeah.
Just because I want to be different, I think it's fun. It's like honestly my entire thing. But Charlotte's played some decent teams. They played Maryland on the road, lost by 18. They only lost to Florida by 15. So isn't that better than what Tennessee did? Isn't that?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
That's a fun fact right there. They got shut out last week by Navy, so that doesn't really make me super confident in this pick. But I'm thinking this is a rivalry game, fellas. You know, neither of them have beaten anyone good, so you really don't know what's going to happen. I'll take the 49ers just due to geographical proximity to my hometown. How about that?
Not the San Francisco 49ers for those of you.
The San Francisco 49ers playing ECU, that would be a hate crime. that would actually be disgusting.
They both lost to SMU by like the same amount, so you know.
Yeah, I think we got a nice toss-up. Yeah.
Game of the weekend. Sleeper game of the weekend. So yeah, we're gonna move on from college football. Thank you, Robbie, for getting those together. We are going to get straight into. We're gonna throw it over to Ryan real quick. We're gonna get straight.
We don't have to talk about this. We can just keep going. We're already at almost an hour. I don't want to hold us up too much here on baseball.
Major League Baseball playoffs are underway. The ALCS and the NLCS. The Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros on one side, and the Phillies and the Diamondbacks on the other. Wait, what's that? Who's missing? Oh, the Braves. Where did they go?
Regular season team in baseball?
I can't find them.
We're actually holding a support group in my work for Braves fans because this is the second year in a row they've gotten beat by the Phillies in the divisional series.
That's a tough look.
Ryan and I acted up because we've never had any Ranger success.
Don't be the World Series. Not that
we've never won the World Series. 10 years ago.
It was over 10 years ago. What do you mean not that long ago?
Modern history, fellas. Modern history. At least you're not the Lions. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God. Hey, they're looking pretty good, though. All right, Ryan, you want to talk about it?
God, you know I want to. The Braves didn't get swept. That's the one.
They fucking should have. They had to rally down 4 runs to not get swept.
Yeah.
Although that being said, Acuna almost hit a grand slam to win Game 4 too. I really thought it was going to happen, and it didn't.
That would have been pretty crazy. So we'll go into, I guess, what it started as. You know, you had What?
If you looked at the Phillies score tonight,
Yeah, don't worry, I did. It's another hate crime.
they make me so angry. They just make me so angry.
Damn.
Yeah, Schwarber's hitting the ball well. 10-0 for our fans at home.
Heavens.
Score. So the
Everyone's at
wild
10
card
hits.
matchups were as such. It was Texas visiting Tampa Bay, Toronto visiting Minnesota, Arizona visiting Milwaukee, and Miami visiting Philly. And how the wild card works is those teams that are hosting host actually all 3 games. So it's actually it's a pretty big advantage in the wild card, especially. The higher seed teams tend to win a lot. Not so fast. Texas Rangers win first 2 pretty easily down in Tampa Bay. Light work.
I was pretty surprised that Tampa didn't get a game on again. I
Yeah,
wasn't super
I
shocked
was
to win the
too.
series, but I was surprised that it didn't go to game
Yep.
3.
Same.
Yep. I also agree with that. Then you had Minnesota. They beat Toronto. Also took the first 2 games, so they were the home team. Arizona goes in as a wild card team to the Brewers and wins the first 2 games. I mean, it's very impressive. Obviously, we see them in the NLCS right now getting worked over, but it was definitely impressive for a wild card team to come out swinging. And obviously, the Phillies beat the Marlins.
Marlins didn't even fucking show up. The Marlins might have well just stayed in Miami. It was abysmal.
Yeah. So no 3-game series for the wild card, which definitely would have put those teams at pretty big disadvantages going into the ALDS. The ALDS matchups were Texas, Baltimore, Minnesota, Houston, Phillies, Braves, and Dodgers, Diamondbacks. Once again, the Rangers sweep. Get the fucking brooms out. Their first home game is they've only played 1 home game, and it was in the Orioles series. So they're finally
Game
going
3?
home, game 3 for the Astros. Like Robbie said, Phillies beat the Braves in 4. Pretty disappointing.
For the second year in a row.
Yeah. It just what are you gonna do?
I fucking hate Bryce Harper with a passion. I just really dislike him as a person.
Houston 1-4, and the Diamondbacks got the brooms out against the Dodgers, which Dodgers fans are also coping very hard with that.
It's funny. I've seen a lot of people complaining about the baseball like playoff structure because the thought is that actually the wild card teams tend to have an advantage, especially the ones that play at home. Because like you think about it, you're playing a 3-game series at home. That's what you do however many times during the regular season. That doesn't really tire you out, and you're kind of warmed up. You haven't had to sit around and wait. But the thing is it's baseball. Like they play 162 games to like get rid of the randomness of the sport. The entire sport is inherently very, very random. And all it takes is you to get hot for 10 games and you win the World Series, right? So I think people are complaining a little bit too much, especially Braves fans. Take the L. Take the L.
Hope.
But
Cause
I mean,
you
baseball is
one.
inherently just a very random sport, and it comes out a lot in the playoffs. You see the Diamondbacks and then LCS. Like, no, if you told anyone that at the beginning of the year, no one would have believed you. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
So ALCS is Astros Rangers currently going to game 3 tomorrow night. Rangers going home up 2-0 in a 7-game series on the Astros. Rangers pitching, which was their weakest point of their ball club, has looked phenomenal. Those pitchers have gotten hot at the right time.
Jordan Montgomery has looked phenomenal. Nathan Eovaldi's
The
kind of bad.
bullpen has looked a lot better.
Yes, that's
than
it.
they have, but that's also because the starters are going pretty deep into games, and we're not having to go too deep into our bullpen. Jordan Montgomery looking so far potentially like the trade of the year.
Yeah,
in
like
baseball.
actually,
actually trade of the year. If this Rangers team is somehow able to get to the World Series, potentially win it all, as they are looking very hot right now. So that's one side. NLCS also looks to be going to a 2-0 lead.
10 runs is not insurmountable. You know, they could do it.
The Reds did give up 9 runs to the Pirates in a regular season game and lose earlier this year.
Don't worry, the Phillies have 2 on in the bottom of 7th as well.
Oh, so. Robbie, I texted something to my family the other day because we were all watching game 1 of the Rangers-Astros series, and I said, I think this is the first time that we collectively as a family have watched baseball at the same time in a decade. Because
since they made the World Series,
literally. Because I was taking
years after that, the Rangers just didn't do anything.
If you think I knew the name of the 2015 like Rangers starting 9, absolutely.
No chance.
No.
But now I know all of them. Now I know every single
I
guy.
hope you guys know I am cheering for the Rangers for sure. I'd love to see a
Yes,
Rangers
totally.
Diamondbacks World Series. That would
That'd be
go
kinda
hard. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but no,
Yeah.
2-0 is not insurmountable. So
It
we
is
will see.
really, really nice being the team that everyone is cheering for because
Yeah.
everyone hates the Astros.
Well, and also because you guys never won a World Series, so you're very easy to cheer for because like you want to see them get one.
Anyways, 2-0 leads. I'm just gonna call the Phillies game now. 2-0 leads in the championship series.
Yep.
Phillies are the home team or home field advantage. Astros are the home field advantage. So we'll see how those series shape up. And next time we probably put out a podcast after this one, we'll know what the World Series looks like.
We will be in the World Series. Yep.
Let's take care of business at Globe Life, boys. Let's finish it off. As Ryan said, obviously Jordan Montgomery looking like the steal, but shout out Jordan Montgomery because the Astros obviously have a lot of really good hitters, notably Yordan Alvarez, and I don't think Jordan Montgomery could have pitched any better to Yordan Alvarez. He had 4 strikeouts in his first 4 at bats. So
I read a full write up on that entire pitching hitting duel
played
the
it
next day.
perfectly. He literally the commentators were talking about his first at bat, and they were like, he needs to pitch here, here, and here, and they like circled the whole thing and like what he needed to pitch, and he did exactly that, and he struck out every time. I was like, oh my, thank God.
And then game 2, Aroldis Chapman comes in and just gets pimped by Alvarez.
yeah.
Just
Dude, nobody can pitch to him
right
except
over
for
the
Jordan
meat of the
Montgomery.
plate.
Yeah, it's actually wild. So yeah, as Ryan said, we will know the Super Bowl matchup next week. So we're gonna just
Super
keep
Bowl.
moving here.
That's a good take.
Did I say Super Bowl?
I guys
World
have
Series.
football on the mind.
So yeah, we're gonna quickly go through some of the NFL stuff so we can get to the NBA. So I have 2 headlines here. The Philadelphia Eagles signed 7-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Julio Jones to a 1-year deal.
Ring chasing.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
you can sum it up at that.
Respectfully.
And then unfortunately, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson is quote unquote probably going to miss the rest of the regular season and could undergo shoulder surgery in the next week or so. Team owner Jim Irsay told ESPN on Monday. It's just part of the way he plays. He's so physical and he runs the ball.
He's got to learn to not take those hits.
Newton, man, it's Cam Newton-esque, and it's like yikes, like you can't play like
Cam at the beginning of his career was very good about like trying to avoid hits though, and he got better as time went on. But
yeah.
Cam also did it to make the team win, just like AR does.
Yeah. So yeah, it's actually given that we're trying to get to the NBA pretty quickly, we are going to skip the week 6 review, but we're going to look at the week 7 review. I'm gonna give you what my favorite spread of the weekend is, and I know that it's a little bit up in the air because apparently Trevor Lawrence is currently questionable to play. But the New Orleans Saints, this is Thursday night football game. I'm going to take this as my game. The New Orleans Saints are currently favored by 1 point over the Jacksonville Jaguars. No. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win this game. Trevor Lawrence is going to play. I have determined that. I have established that will happen. So, and I don't see a world in which the Saints, even at home, beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm going to take that as my favorite spread for the weekend.
Go next.
Ahead. Yes, please.
I don't want to take my spread. I want to take an over-under real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 backup quarterbacks playing. And this line is set at 37.5 for the Raiders-Bears.
Absolute sickos game. Like, it's going to be such a bad game.
I'm taking the under, and God help anybody who goes and watches this game.
That sounds.
Why would you do that to yourself? I just can't fathom doing that to myself. That I'm going to go watch this game, so I'm going to. But
yeah, take the under 37.5.
Wow. That's terrible.
I'll give another over under. I'm going to take an over because we got to balance out the under that was just taken. It's a high over. It's probably the highest of the weekend. The Dolphins and the Eagles at 52. 2 high-powered offenses. And let's not forget that the Dolphins let the Panthers score 21 points last week. I think they smashed their 50. I think it's just a shootout on Sunday Night Football. Thank God we actually have a good Sunday night game this week.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you saying? The Cowboys getting just ground into a pulp? Wasn't fun to watch.
Yeah,
That was not enjoyable for anyone, I don't think.
hey, we got to win last night though.
And we had to watch. I guess the Giants Bills actually ended up being a good game, but like
Yeah, it was weird.
it shouldn't
at
have
the beginning.
been.
Yeah. I'll take my over/under. My over/under is going to be unfortunately, a lot of injuries also kind of determines what I think one way or the other with this game. But the 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings play on Monday Night Football on October 23rd. Currently, Christian McCaffrey is dealing with a bit of an injury. Shocker. But he has more time to recover because it is a Monday night game. So I think give that 1 or 2 extra days. I think he'll be all right because the reports were that he was optimistic and the team was optimistic about his return. I don't know. I have the feeling that the Niners are just going to hang points on the Vikings. Like just
even with everyone out.
Yes.
Did you see how bad Brock Purdy looked last week when everyone was injured?
I think CMC's going to play. They seem relatively confident that that's my caveat. Is I think CMC's going to play. So I know Ayuk is struggling. I know that Debo is also questionable. But like I said, I think CMC's arguably been the best player in football this year. Like on the offensive side of the ball, he's just been unbelievable. Just like everyone knew he was. I mean, shout out the Carolina Panthers for that trade. You know what I'm saying, Robert?
So yeah. I saw like a thread today. It's like outside of DJ Moore, like who's like the player most disappointed the Panthers trade away. It's like I don't give a fuck about DJ Moore. I'm sad that we traded away CMC. What do you mean?
Yeah. So yeah, that point total was 44. So I'm gonna take the over on that. I think Kirk might get 2 tutties, and then the Niners hang like 7. So something light.
I'll take the Bills 8.5 against Patriots. Patriots are really fucking bad.
I thought about that one as well. Yeah, that I did consider that one.
Bills have not played well in the last 2 weeks, but I think they just shit bumped the Pats.
How about the Ravens being favored by 3 against the Lions?
Also a bit of an odd one.
Give me the Lions +3. Give me the Lions +3. They've been looking good.
They have been looking good.
On job.
So yeah, moving on from the NFL here, we're getting into it. We're getting into the nitty gritty. I have one headline from the NBA, and then I have one thing that I want to cover, and then we're going to get into the kind of season outlook, what we think the season is going to shape up to be. The one headline I have here was a trade that occurred between the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Houston Rockets are trading guard Kevin Porter Jr. and 2 future second-round picks to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are immediately waiving him, sources told ESPN on Tuesday. The Rockets are getting Victor Oladipo and Jeremiah Robinson-Earl in the deal that will send a 2027 second-round pick via the Minnesota Timberwolves and a 2028 second-round pick via the Milwaukee Bucks to the Thunder, sources told ESPN. I think we covered it before, but Kevin Porter Jr. Allegedly hit his girlfriend, and the Rockets were like, well, we don't really want to have you around anymore. Yep. Oladipo is going from OKC to Houston. So I guess that's giving the Rockets more veteran leadership, I guess.
They have a lot of young guys. It's probably a good guy to have around.
I mean, obviously, like this was mostly just to get Kevin Porter Jr. like out. I guess out of the league.
I'm confused why they couldn't just cut him. Like he's on a rookie deal. Like his cap hit can't be that bad. Also, Sam Presti is him. Like, can we just take a second? The Oklahoma City Thunder over the next 7 years have 15 first-round picks and 22 second-round picks. In our Dynasty League, I'm basically Sam Presti is what I'm starting to realize.
Yeah, but the Thunder are way more competitive now than you are in Dynasty.
Well, they weren't. Hey, they weren't for a couple years. All right,
he's right.
We got time. We got time.
Yeah, but you got picks now, brother.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
And then, so right before we get into the NBA season outlook, I do want to kind of go through a list of sorts with you guys, and I feel like you may have seen this before. It's been kind of a point of controversy across a lot of sports. So ESPN a couple of days ago, it might have been a week ago, released their player rank for going into the 2023-2024 season. And people were obviously, as they are every year, incredibly upset about some of the rankings.
People just don't get that ESPN writes these things just for clicks. They don't actually believe any of this shit. They just write it because you'll click on it and talk about it and be upset about it.
But here we are fucking talking about it. So
let's get into it. I'm excited.
But they also rank rookies in the rankings, and so there's no just like completely.
Where did they put Wemby somewhere disrespectful?
Probably like in the 30s. I think it was like in the 30s or something.
I was waiting for you to tell me they put Wemby like 13.
No, they didn't put him that high. But I'm just gonna reach to the top 10. Are we ready for the top 10, gentlemen?
I couldn't be more ready. Yeah.
Number 10, Anthony Davis.
If he's healthy, I don't think that's a horrible take.
No, I don't.
Is he in street clothes or like playing?
Yep,
he's playing. He's on the court in the game.
That's fine.
I think 10 is completely fine. I think honestly, you if he's healthy, you can put him a little higher. In all honesty,
For sure,
I
would
think
agree.
so. Number 9, LeBron James. That's kind of low. That's kind of low.
It's kind of low.
I don't think he's top 5 anymore.
Is it kind of low for the oldest player in the NBA?
Doesn't matter if you're putting. Doesn't matter what your age is if you're putting up those numbers.
I just wanted to say that fact. The fact that LeBron James is now the oldest player in the NBA.
That's wild.
I saw. So I guess LeBron's been putting out like weekly picks for NFL games. Like he'll get on his story or something and like go through it. And someone like went through LeBron's picks from last weekend. Like you bet $100 on every game LeBron told you they were going to win, you would have lost $500.
That's wild.
So do not bet with LeBron.
Do not ride with LeBron. Going down the list here, number 8, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's great. Don't get me wrong. He averaged 32 points a game.
High.
He's not better than LeBron. He's not better than LeBron.
When you like, I was thinking about it more in terms of numbers. Like 8's a little high, but like, putting him in front of LeBron and AD.
Not ahead of LeBron.
Yeah.
I don't. Like I said, he averaged 31.4 points per game last year. But yeah, I don't think he's LeBron level. Number 7, Kevin Durant.
Slow.
KD's top 5. KD's a top 5 player in the NBA.
Top 5.
Yeah, that's what the hell.
I'm very curious who's.
Yes, there's somebody upsetting that's in the top 5.
I'm very curious who's in the top 5. The fact that LeBron and KD both are in the top 5.
All right,
I think.
Hold on, let me cook. Let me cook where I think 6 is at.
Okay. I think this is the one.
We can give our opinions. We'll do. Okay, you tell us 6.
We'll
guess the top 5 in order.
Wait, no. Can I guess who number 6 is?
Yeah.
Is it Kevin Durant's teammate?
No.
Okay, I was waiting because like they did like AD and LeBron together, so I was waiting for it to be like KD and then Devin Booker. That was what I was waiting on.
I will say I think this is the one that people probably are the most upset about. So I'll say we can do that, Ryan. So number 6 is Jason Tatum. Again, is he better than KD?
He's not, but like I also think he should be higher.
I think 6 is actually.
I think 7 is probably better for Tatum. I think you switch KD and Tatum, and then maybe
I'm okay with that.
Switch LeBron and Shai. I maybe would be okay with LeBron. I think I'd be okay with LeBron under Tatum, but not over Durant, in my opinion, as a basketball player. All right, do you guys want to guess the top 5 in order?
Let's go. We'll start with 5, Rob. Who do we think we put in at 5?
I feel like they're putting a lot of recency in this. I wanted to say Kawhi. Like I feel like Kawhi just hasn't played enough lately. I feel like Kawhi is going to be lower for some reason.
Yep, agreed. If SGA is at 8, then like
it's very recency bias. I don't know, Ryan. What are you thinking, Ryan?
I'm going Joel Embiid at 5.
It is not Joel Embiid.
He better be in the top 5.
There's 3 guys that have to be in the top 5. Then they should be 1, 2, 3. It should be Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis. Should be in the top 5 somewhere. Steph has to be up there somewhere. Yeah. So who's 5?
Luka?
It is not Luka.
Have we said his name?
Yes.
Is it Steph?
It is Steph Curry. Steph Curry is ranked to number 5 in this upcoming season.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
Jokic, Giannis,
Embiid,
Luka. Is Luka not in the top?
No. Those are the 4 players, just not in that order.
Okay.
But yes, those are the 4 players.
Did they put Embiid at 4?
They did not put Embiid at 4. They put Luka Doncic at 4th place.
Okay,
And then they put Embiid at 3rd, and then they put Jokic at 2nd, and then they put Giannis at 1st. Jokic is the best basketball player in the world. Jokic is the best basketball player in the world. He has been the best basketball player in the world for the past 3 years.
Did they watch him play in the playoffs last year? Did they watch any of the playoff games?
Oh, he should have won the MVP. I can't stand that he didn't win the MVP.
Practice in the offseason.
He just goes and tends to his horses.
He hates basketball. The dude doesn't fucking care, and that makes all the NBA purists just
so mad.
He's like the Tyson Fury of the NBA.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah,
same thing.
He's like, "Are you happy to be back?" He's like, "Not at all."
No.
I would literally rather be tending to my horses.
he's gonna retire in the next 2 years.
I was
2
gonna
to
say
3
he's gonna have like the
That'd be
highest and shortest
insane.
peak of all time because either he's gonna retire,
Absolutely.
like it's gonna catch up with him that he's not working out in the offseason. Like eventually, it's gonna catch up
With the way he plays,
lumbers in, dude.
I don't know if it will. It's
That's
just,
true.
but
I mean-
like that's why you compare him to Fury, because like Fury isn't ever like super
But-
cut or ripped, but he's like
Yeah,
hits
that's
the hell
true.
out of people.
I don't know. I mean, he's like, I feel like Jokic is one of his best qualities is his touch, and like some of that is absolutely like a natural ability. But like some of that also comes from just taking a stupid amount of like shots from stupid different angles and stuff, right? Like if you're not practicing, that eventually goes away or gets less of what it used to be.
Yeah. You want to be here? No.
No, he doesn't.
I really don't.
That's so funny. So yeah, some people had some. So the top 10 isn't as egregious. Obviously, we all think that KD and Bron should be higher, but there were
The top
some,
5 was fine.
Yeah, top 5's fine. I don't really care what order. I just think Jokic should be one. I think Jokic is the best basketball player in the world. But yeah, there was some.
It's because you're right. It's a basketball purist like pulling for Giannis because Giannis is this like insane athlete that plays basketball like no one else does at his size. But
Where the fuck is Zion Williamson?
That is a good cool. Oh yeah, he is here. Hold on, where is it? Oh, they ranked Wembanyama 47 is where they ranked.
Okay, that's fine. I was just waiting for it to be something really disrespectful.
I know the one that people were really upset about is they had Westbrook at like 93, and people were really upset about that.
Where is Kawhi?
Oh, Kawhi. Oh, I just found him. Kawhi is at number 24. It's going to a different article though.
That's disrespectful, I think.
Kind of washed.
There are 23 basketball players you'd rather have on your team than Kawhi Leonard.
Apparently. So after that list review, we're going to get into kind of our NBA season outlook. We're going to talk about the East and the West and the NBA Finals, what we think is going to happen there. So, gentlemen, let's just have a candid discussion about what we think is going to happen this season. How do we want to do this? Do we want to structure it by division, by conference, by finals backwards? What do you guys think?
I think conference is nice. For division, just no one really gives a shit about in the NBA. It's not like the NFL or even the MLB.
Casual NBA fans could not name you like who's in what division because they don't.
And that's
really
also
matter.
because the number one team in the division technically isn't guaranteed to make the playoffs.
Correct. Well,
I guess the
math-wise, maybe.
play-ins
Yeah.
But
I
like, number one in the division could mean you're still in the basement of the Western Conference. So
I think it could still work because I think 4 teams still miss the play-in entirely.
Yeah.
Or 6 teams. 6 teams. But like I think with the math of how many times you play your division opponents, I don't think that math could work out.
Semantics at that point. So
yeah,
100%. So yeah, we can go. Let's go. Let's talk about the Western Conference first. I'm trying to think the best way to do this. Should we here? I'll pull up the standings from last season, and we'll see. We'll just say if we think that the team is going to perform worse or better.
Before we get in, do we want to give like our favorite and then maybe like a sleeper, just to kind of kick it off, and then we can kind of go through the standings
out of that conference?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Robbie, do you have any idea of who you wanted to go with?
No, I was just throwing out an idea. If anyone wants to go first, that'd be great.
I'd probably, in terms of my favorites, I think I'm between 2 here, and I got absolutely flamed for one of them last year, rightfully so, because they didn't perform in the playoffs as I expected them to. I mean, I'm obviously kind of favorable towards the Nuggets, obviously coming off an NBA championship. They didn't lose very many guys. I mean, Jamal Murray's young. Jokic, I keep saying, I think is the best player in the world. So obviously they still have that duo, and that team is relatively the same. So I think that they will obviously be very successful this season. Obviously, it's incredibly hard. If you're not a dynasty like the Warriors were in the mid-2010s, or like kind of the Cavs were when LeBron was there in the mid-2010s, or Kobe Lakers. If you're not a dynasty like that, I think it's hard to go to back-to-back championships. I will say that I think the NBA is possibly the easiest league to go to back-to-back championships in, but it's still not easy if you're not a dynasty. And I don't know if you can really qualify the Nuggets as a dynasty at this point.
No.
And they don't have the talent like those teams had, like a Warriors or Lakers, Kobe Lakers. So I think that I'm between the. You're going to clown me. The Phoenix Suns have an abundance of talent, and I just don't, especially with Bradley Beal now. Like you have Bradley Beal, you have Devin Booker, you have Katie, and interestingly enough, in the preseason, it actually looks like Booker is playing the one. So it looks like Booker is going to be
I think
the
that
point.
makes sense.
I think it did too, but I think some people actually expected it to be Beal or somebody else like off the bench or whatever. But I got to go with the Suns, man. They have so much talent, and I feel like after the end of the season, they know how to work together better. They kind of know what the system they want to run is. And I think, honestly, it's coming down to defense. They got DeAndre Ayton off their books. They have Nurkic, who's a very solid center in the league. So I'm going to go with the Suns.
You look at the Western Conference, like I feel like every team has question marks,
100%.
except for maybe outside the Nuggets. But like you said, Connor, I would be surprised to see them do it back-to-back years because they're not. I mean, Jokic is a generational player and he's very good, but like they just don't have the talent level of you think the Warriors, or they don't have LeBron James, right? I mean, those are the two teams that keep making it back to the finals for a while. There was the Warriors or whoever had LeBron. I'm going to stick with them though, just because I think they do have the least amount of question marks coming in this year, and that is the Nuggets. They
That's fair.
Have the same team. I think the Suns will be very good this year. I think them and the Nuggets are on a collision course to get to the Western Conference Finals. But I'm gonna stick with the team that to me has the least amount of question marks, and that's the Denver Nuggets.
There you go, Ryan. What do we think?
So I was kind of looking at this a couple of different ways from the Western Conference. I was looking at who I think is going to be potentially the most improved from record or position last year, who's going to probably fall the farthest, and who's just the outright favorite, I think, to come out. I think the farthest is going to be the Sacramento Kings. I think they had an absolutely magical run last year, and you had a lot of buy-in. I just think besides De'Aaron Fox and some of the other guys that they have out there, I just don't think there's enough talent to compete with the incredibly deep Western Conference. Harrison Barnes is another year older. Sabonis is another year older. I think they're probably looking at a play-in game for the Kings. On the other side, I think if the Pelicans stay healthy, they have enough talent. We talked about this last year and it didn't come to fruition, but I really do think they have enough talent to be a top 6 seed in the West. And in terms of favorite, I just think it's that the Nuggets are just the most complete team. They didn't really lose anybody. Just a little bit more experience as long as they stay healthy. Obviously, the Suns have probably the most talented starting 5. Like we'll see how things go. We'll see how their bench depth looks. We'll see if KD can stay healthy. We'll see how that whole new Beal meshes with everybody. So should be another great season. I love basketball. Yep. Glad it's back.
Good to be back.
Go ahead, Rob.
I was just going to take my sleeper team, kind of sneak it back. Connor, since Ryan went back to back there.
Yeah.
A really young team. We talked about their best player already. Cracked the top 10 of ESPN's best players in this upcoming season. A lot of young talent. They get Chet Holmgren back
for the finals.
No. We're not talking about a sleeper. I'm talking about a team that is going to finish maybe top 4. Who didn't finish top 4 the year before.
You scared me, bro.
No,
I was like, damn.
A team that was in the play-in or didn't make the play-in last year that will finish as a seeded team. I could see the Thunder being top 6 in the West. There's a lot of okay teams in the West, and they're young. They're not gonna load manage. They're gonna play a lot of games. I think the Thunder are in for a nice year. Maybe this year's Kings. Just a lot of young pieces that finally gel and get to play together and have a good season.
So I think this year's gonna be really fun. I mean, basketball's my favorite sport. It always is really fun for me. I think this is one of the most interesting years in terms of, obviously, we had talked about previously, like the super team era. The super team era kind of kicking out. I feel like kind of kicked off with the Kawhi Leonard, Paul George team up, and then obviously that was after the KD joining the Warriors, and I'm talking about like everybody else kind of getting in on it. I feel like there are 3 teams this year where they feel like this is their last opportunity to get a championship with their current unit. And I think that's the Los Angeles Clippers. I think that's the Los Angeles Lakers. And I think that's the Golden State Warriors. Well, I was talking about in the West.
Oh, sorry. We'll get to the fucking East.
Out of those 3 teams, I think the Warriors are done. I think Draymond is not even close to what he was. Clay, and we actually did rag on Clay a little bit. Clay actually didn't shoot that bad last year. He just had games where he was rough, but he's obviously lost a lot of steps on defense. Obviously, Curry has maintained an incredible level, but outside of that, they've just struggled. Obviously, they lost Jordan Poole because of Draymond. I don't think it's the Warriors' time. I think the Warriors are done. I think after this year, they're gonna hang it up. I mean, even though we have seen Steph Curry do pretty incredible things, I don't see it happening again. Once again, I don't see the Clippers. I think the Clippers is a failed experiment, and I think it's something that they got to move on from. I'll say this. LeBron James has done some inhuman things in his time in the NBA. He is the all-time league leader in points.
A record a lot of people never thought would really be broken.
Absolutely not. He
carried. People didn't think someone would sniff that record.
He carried a team of janitors to the finals in 2018 against the Warriors. He owns the city of Toronto, LeBronto, if you will. I think in one of his last seasons, I think LeBron James might be able to win the Western Conference.
And I think the Lakers' depth is being somewhat underrated. I actually think they have some pieces around LeBron and AD.
He stays healthy. If D'Lo plays consistently,
that's a good
You're
point.
not wrong.
Won't. But they have Austin Reeves. They have Christian Wood, who I keep forgetting is on the Lakers.
Do you remember they were in the Western Conference Finals last year? Granted, the Nuggets rocked their shit because they weren't. Nobody was beating that Nuggets team. But I've seen some crazy things from LeBron James, and I think that's a definite sleeper team.
I do have to say, I think every time that someone says the Warriors are done, like Steve Kerr has a little like fucking potion pot and like it just fuels it. And like every time someone says the Warriors are done, they just somehow get better. I agree with you. I don't see them doing it this year, but for whatever reason, they seem to find some way to
Steph Curry.
Yeah, that's
and Andrew Wiggins, the man has been playing some really good ball recently.
Right.
He's figured it out.
Take.
Really the era of like duos, like I feel like it was the big three era for a while. And now we're down to just like two superstars. You have Kyrie and Luka. You have Jokic and Jamal Murray. You have Kawhi and PG. You have AD and LeBron. Like it's a lot of like two superstars on the same team now versus like the era of like we're going to put three of them on the same team and see what happens. I don't know if that's just the way you have to build your roster now. I don't know, but it's definitely shifted to like we need two superstars and we can get this done.
Yeah, and to talk a little bit more about the West, I agree with Ryan in terms of I think the Kings will be good. I don't think they will be a 3 seed again. I think that was kind of a magical run there last season, with lighting the beam and all. And it was great. It was very fun. I also think obviously with the loss of John Morant, the Grizzlies will not be a 2 seed. Even with Marcus Smart as a great, quote unquote backup point guard, I don't see how the Grizzlies are a 2 seed again. I have a feeling that the Timberwolves are going to be awful this year. And I don't know. I just think Gobert is bad. I think Cat's going to have a bad season. Edwards, I think,
he's taking a step back. Cat has.
Last year, he definitely took a step back.
That's what I mean. It's like I feel like they're going to be bad. I feel like the bottom four is mostly going to shake out the same way. Like it was the Jazz, the Blazers, the Rockets, and the Spurs. I mean, if Wemby is like unbelievable, like
I'm very curious to see how the Blazers do this year. I know they just traded away Dame, but like I feel like they're building around this young roster, and like no, they're probably not going to make the playoffs. But like I'm curious to see how they play, starting to build around Scoot, because that's going to be their guy now, right? He's a really good player.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how the Trailblazers play this year. They're a team I want to keep an eye on and kind of see how they start to put it together.
And if the Spurs were 22-60, how many games does Wemby add to their win total? They get him to 30 wins. I mean,
yeah.
Probably.
I think he can.
I mean, I go down that roster, and I might not know ball as much as the next person. Dude, I'm reading this, and I'm not very familiar with these other starters.
I'm sorry, I was not familiar with your game.
Yeah, exactly.
Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and
Keldon
Zach
Johnson,
Collins.
I forgot Zach Collins was
not a lot of household names on that list.
Is terrible.
Not a lot of guys that would be getting minutes on any other team.
Dude, how did Popovich not retire after seeing this roster given to him?
He wanted to coach Wemby. That's literally the only reason.
No, it is 100%. And obviously, we're talking about the Western Conference. We have to talk about the Dallas Mavericks, who choked their playoff spot away last year.
Disgusting.
Two of the most skilled players in the entire league between Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. Do they figure it out this year? Do they get a playoff spot this year?
Yeah, you have to think they make the playoffs.
You have to.
Right? You have to think.
Yeah.
Just on pure talent alone.
Yeah. Dude, can we just get a center? Just like anybody. Raise your hand. Like, do you want to please? yeah, literally. If you'll go get somebody, go get boards.
So is Derek Lively starting at the 5 now?
No, it's
Is it Powell or Kleba?
I think it's Powell. Which is like it's always been.
Fuck me to sideways, dude. We just have 0 rim protection.
You guys can go get Dwight Howard from the Shanghai Sharks.
Sure. Anybody that's like over 6'11", I don't care. Put your ass on the floor. Hey, we got Seth Curry back though. I love Seth Curry. That's a great pickup. I love Seth Curry on the Mavs. He played up for us before and he was great. So yeah,
Shout out Grant Williams.
You picked up the great value Curry.
Seth Curry's good. Go. I mean, he's not. You know, he's not.
Comparing him to Steph, though. Yeah, I mean, like he's not a bad player, but like
it's hard. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the West. This coming up year, we gave our sleepers and our winners. So let's move on to the Eastern Conference. As we've stated before, we're kind of a top-heavy conference, but ultimately some incredible talent on the other side.
Dogfight.
Yeah, exactly. So who wants to start out with their winner / sleeper picks? Robbie?
I can
Ryan?
take that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Give us your favorite, Ryan.
There's only 2 favorites. There's only 2 teams that I feel like you can pick as your favorite. And that's either the Milwaukee Bucks or it's the Boston Celtics.
A little disrespectful to a Heat team that somehow keeps winning the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I don't know.
A little bit disrespectful.
They can keep proving me wrong. I don't know.
I agree with you.
Jimmy Butler's coffee, but him and Bam just keep fucking doing it. A lot of talent on that Bucks team. They traded a lot to get Dame. I don't think they overpaid, actually. I think it was a very fair price for the Bucks, all in. Obviously, being able to keep Middleton and Giannis and Dame. I mean, those are 3 absolute fucking studs on that team. Interested to see how they play together. Obviously, this is Dame's first time being on a team where he's not the most talented player on the team, and I'm really interested to see how they all gel. I think the Bucks are the best team in the East, but we'll see if the regular season record reflects that and what happens come playoffs.
Do you think Giannis is more talented than Dame, or is he just better physically than Dame?
I don't think those are like mutually exclusive. I mean, you could be better physically, and you're also just better because you're better physically.
You said talented. I don't know. I just like the word. I don't know. I always view. I guess I feel like skill wise.
But I think encompassing like all skills, Giannis is more skilled. If you're talking about just pure scoring ability, especially in an isolation setting, absolutely it's Dame. That's true. You're talking about skill overall in basketball, it's Giannis.
I mean, Dame can't play defense.
Dame's the top 5 all-time pure scorer in the NBA. I mean, that might be hot, but like
it's a little hot. But
pure scorer, pure
one
shooter.
One of the greatest shooters, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think he's quite up there.
I agree with Ryan. I don't know that like you could if you're the Bucks and you could have your pick of any other NBA player to come play with Giannis, you could pick someone better to play with Giannis than Damian Lillard.
Steph Curry.
Okay, I'll give you that. But we also know that Steph Curry's not leaving the Warriors. I guess is my thought. Yeah. I just like there's like their games are gonna mesh so well, and you keep Middleton as that like glue guy that kind of holds the whole thing together, is reliable, is there when you need him. I think people are overplaying how Kristaps Porzingis is going to be important to the Celtics. Maybe I'm disrespecting
the defense, but like the fact that you're not, because the fact that they lost Robert Williams, who is currently one of the best rim protectors in the NBA, and you have Porzingis now who can't. They
lost a ton of defense. They lost Grant Williams. They lost
Marcus Smart,
deep boy,
who was the heart and soul of that team. They picked up Drew Holiday to now run the 1. Yes. So that 1-2-3 Holiday, Brown, Tatum is gross.
Your paint is hurting. Your paint defense is.
But who's guarding Embiid? Like you pulled the Sixers in a series. Who's guarding Embiid? I mean, honestly,
no. Embiid's getting 50, and then that's about it.
Yeah.
But like I see a lot of people talking about like Porzingis going to the Celtics. Like I just don't see it. The Celtics are gonna be good. They're gonna be fine.
Of course.
But I just don't see them beating the Bucks in a 7-game series. I just don't see it. Who's guarding Giannis? You gonna put Tatum on Giannis?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not to sound like a broken record, but I do agree with these gentlemen, and I know I've in the past voiced my concern about Dame on the Bucks, mostly from a defensive perspective, because the Bucks have always been very defense oriented, and with Drew Holiday, and obviously now Damian Lillard coming into the fold, and him being one of the worst defenders, period, in the NBA, from like especially from a starting point guard position. It's a little concerning, but I mean, I was actually watching some preseason, and the Bucks were playing, and Dame and Giannis both played in the first half, and they were very much like looking to get each other shots. Like it wasn't necessarily like, oh, this is. There was no like this is my team kind of vibe. It was mostly like there was a specific play where Giannis like wasn't even looking to score, like he was looking at Lillard the whole way to like try to get him the ball. So it looks like they've already kind of established that. Like there's a back and forth rapport there. So obviously that's really good. I mean, Dame is an elite shooter. As Ryan said, even though the top 5 scorer all time might be a little spicy, he is, I mean, undisputedly currently top 5 shooter in the NBA, top 5 scorer. So I mean,
I do say I could not have told you who the Bucks coach was until I like just looked it up because I like remembered the Bud was gone.
He got fired, yeah. Holy crap.
It's Adrian Griffin, who spent the last 5 seasons as an assistant with the Raptors.
Don't think I could have told you that. I know the name, but I did not.
I knew Bud was gone, but I could not have told you who their head coach was until I just Googled it. So
yeah, so not to be boring, but yeah, I'm picking the Bucks there because we do have to remember though, this is a Bucks team. Granted, dealt with a lot of injury. This is a Bucks team that lost to the Miami Heat this past year, the 8-seeded Miami Heat.
So I was gonna say, I mean, a Heat team that's now been in the finals 2 out of the last 3 years.
Correct.
Like,
That team that went to the
one
finals.
seed going in, and they were pretty banged up. I'm not that worried about that
because they got a big 3. It's Bam, Jimmy, and Spoelstra.
Tyler Hero.
I like that. Yeah, he wasn't playing last year.
No, he's not. Connor, give us your sleeper.
Just real quick while we were talking about the Celtics, KP, Kristaps Porzingis, Tingus Pingus, all the different names you got for him. His last year, there's the most points he scored. His most points per game. His second most games he's played in his career. He played 65. Technically, he played on the Wizards and he was the number 1 option, right? He
had a great year last year. Yeah.
So the Celtics are paying for him to do what he did last year. Can he replicate it? We'll see. I mean, he has not played.
He's not going to be the number 1 option. He's going to be
he's going to be third.
4? Drew Holiday over him?
Not scoring.
Yeah,
no, I would take Porzingis over Drew Holiday for
sure, but I could still see Drew Holiday possibly putting up more shots just he has the ball in his hand.
Potentially,
yeah. But Porzingis, that's like he doesn't play defense because he plays offense. That's just what
my guys adopted the LeBron James strategy at age 28?
Yeah, exactly. LeBron's 38.
Line. He sits out on the 3-point line at 7'3". Like that's just a mismatch nightmare.
Yeah. So Robbie has requested that I make my sleeper pick. I feel like the West is much better to pick sleeper wise than the East because there are like 3 teams in the East that are really good, and then I'm like I hate the rest of them. To talk about some
Hornets,
of the yeah, I know. To talk about some of the other ones like the Celtics,
so fucking bad. It's just gonna be all.
Who's worse, the Hornets or the Panthers?
Yikes!
It's thank God hockey's back. You know what I'm saying? Go Hurricanes, baby! Hurricanes are the favorites, I think, right now to win the NHL betting wise.
God,
I didn't even think about that. You're a Hornets and a Panthers fan.
I'm very loosely a Hornets fan. I don't particularly care, to be honest. Yeah.
So to talk about some of the teams here. I mean, we just discussed the Celtics a little bit. Obviously, we're all kind of worried about Porzingis' involvement and his participation in that team. The Sixers, obviously, a lot of issues with James Harden now in the offseason, and he doesn't want to be there.
What did he say about Daryl Morey? He said, he called you, like, it was just like insulting him. Like,
yeah, it was just like, exactly, the entire time. So I don't really see that being a road to success by any means. I think a lot of people think that the Cleveland Cavaliers are probably one of the biggest sleepers of this year, granted how good they were last year. And Donovan Mitchell was on another planet last year for a while there. I mean, people forget he had a 70-point game last year. Like he went absolutely ballistic last year. I'm gonna give you one that nobody's gonna agree with and probably isn't gonna come true, but it's a little fun because it's something different. It's not boring. Here we go. DeMar DeRozan is going to have the best season of his career in this upcoming year.
That is a take after he's had some pretty good seasons last couple of years.
And the Chicago Bulls are going to be a top 4 seed in the East this year. I know Lonzo Ball is out, and I'm well aware, but I think LaVine's going to take a little step up. I think DeMar's going to continue his hot run and even maybe elevate it a little bit. So you know what? Just for fun, just for something different here, we're going to go to the Chicago Bulls for a top 4 spot in the East this coming up here.
Alex Caruso, All-Star game nod. Thoughts?
Okay,
I'm here for it. You won't hear me say no. I'm looking at two young teams that I think might have a chance to make the play-in this year. Take that next step.
Yeah.
The Pistons and the Magic. There's a lot of young talent. I like the Magic, but I like the Pistons.
Paolo Banchero was, I mean, granted, because the Magic were so bad, but he was good last year. He just got overlooked because the team was awful. The rest of the team was awful.
We'll just throw a take out there. They'll learn to Magic make the play-in.
I'm okay with that. I have no issues with that take.
That's gonna be my sleeper team because you're right. I don't really fucking like anyone in the East outside the Bucks and the Celtics.
Yeah,
it's bad. The Nets somehow made the playoffs last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see them to play in this year. Yeah. How about the Magic in the play-in game?
Paolo averaged 27 and 4.
Yeah, my guy was cooking.
And like nobody talked about it. Like what? Yep. Like I don't understand how he did not get talked about that much last year. Yeah. God, why is Markel Fultz on my screen right now? Because of Ryan
got the yips. That was crazy.
That what, dude? Oh, did you guys know Ben Simmons is back?
No, he's not.
He isn't. He was
he made one behind the back pass the other day. Everyone was freaking out like,
Ben Simmons is back. Fucking blew up. Yeah, it's like, oh god.
They got Cole Anthony too on the Magic. They got Wendell Carter Jr.
They got some.
Joe Ingles is there now. Mac McClung. That's a fun team. I'm there. Mac McClung's on the team. I'm
with the Orlando hype. I'll be with the Magic.
We forgot about Jalen Suggs too.
Suggs. Yeah, I like Paolo. Go ahead, Ryan.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, and I'm going to catch so much fucking hate for this.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
But I cannot imagine that the core of this team doesn't take a step up from last year.
Okay.
And that's the Atlanta Hawks.
Dude, they were terrible.
They underperformed to the max after acquiring DeJounte. Trey had his worst season?
By far. He wasn't even close.
Bad.
Yeah.
He was better his rookie year, and Clint Capella just kind of fucking disappeared. So they were a 7th seed. I think a lot of people expected them to be in this like top 6. They definitely didn't expect the Nets or the Knicks to be better than the Hawks. I have to imagine the team either takes a step up or the Hawks are firing somebody into the sun. I mean, that's my take. I think the Hawks, and I think they take a step up. I think they're a top 5 seed in the East this year.
What do you do if you're the Hawks and like you're bad again this year?
I don't know.
You're not getting rid of DeJounte or Trey, but like what do you do? Like,
how long's the manager been there? Yeah, fire him into the sun. I don't know.
Who is their coach? I don't even know who it is.
I said manager. Yeah, it's like a fucking dolt.
Like,
Quinn Snyder.
Oh yeah,
Snyder. That's right.
My boy Quinn.
Like, I'm looking at
paying fucking Trey Young to be just mid. $40 million a year.
ESPN projected the Hornets to win 38 games this year.
Damn. Damn.
I want some of that hopium right there. I'm in.
I will say
question mark.
That had them above the Bulls, the Magic. Bulls and the Magic were the two teams right behind them.
No way the Hornets are better than the Bulls.
They had the Bulls projected at 36 wins and the Magic at 35. And then right above
them, the
not
Pacers, that good.
The Pacers and the Nets at 39 wins.
What the? I mean, Tyrese Halliburton,
we can keep going. I got to see what the DraftKings futures are on some of these teams, like total wins.
I was just gonna say that I was looking at Trae Young's postseason stats. So he played in 6 games, and he averaged 29 points a game, but on 40% shooting, which he was just chucking crap up like that. That's pretty for someone who's supposed to be like an elite point guard. Like 40%, that's not good. That's pretty bad.
Point guard,
or not elite, top 10.
Top 10,
yeah, top 10. Yeah. I mean,
Whenever he was winning that series against the Knicks, when they ever had that, he was a top 10 point guard in the NBA during that series.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Now, so obviously with the Hawks, John Collins is now on the Jazz, which is obviously kind of a bigger loss for them. Yeah, I mean, there were some interesting trades in this past season. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
DraftKings says the Hornets at 31.5.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
See, Bridges is in trouble again.
Yep.
Yeah.
He apparently violated his restraining order.
Of course he did.
Why is he still on the team? Why is he still on the team?
Bulls are 37.5 wins. You want some of that over action?
Should we go in on that?
You want some of that over?
I'm all right. I'm all right with a 40.
Yeah, dude, the fucking Hornets are just so dysfunctional.
If I put $5 on the Bulls,
Michael Jordan's not the owner anymore, though.
Yeah, true. This is true.
It's still whiplash from him.
Thank God they didn't let David Tepper buy that team too. Jesus Christ, I'd have a stroke. I had to watch David Tepper run another Carolina team into the ground.
What if Matt Rule came back as an NBA coach for the Charlotte Hornets?
That'd go hard.
Yeah,
one possession games in basketball. It's you could win some of those,
So yeah, I mean, in terms of the NBA, I think that was pretty much it. Unless you guys had any other teams that you wanted to cover. I mean, some of the ones that are more interesting here, obviously the Raptors losing Fred VanVleet are going to be in a kind of a holding pattern with Siakam. I don't really know what you do if you're the Raptors because you're in a weird spot.
Trade away Siakam and just get a fuck ton of picks, right?
Yeah, just as many as you can. That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
I guess they have Scotty Barnes too.
Yeah,
he's a good young talent. Like he's probably one of the top 5 in his age class.
Dude, what do the Pistons do? Like, you've had 17
number
1 overall picks, and you can't do anything.
They're just busy breaking Cade Cunningham. Like they're just busy like breaking that man down.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
Yeah. And then the Rockets obviously have kind of in a weird spot too. Yeah, I don't know. Some teams are in some weird spots here in the NBA, but it'll be fun to watch. I think the Timberwolves are going to suck, but yeah, I think that. The Nets are also a team of role players.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Ben Simmons.
Roy, he said a
How
team
dare
of
you?
role players. Yeah,
how dare you? But yeah, in terms of the NBA, I think that is pretty much it. And that's what we're going to end on today. Who wants to sign us out?
I'll sign us off. For myself, Ryan, and Connor, thanks for listening. Are we gonna do it next week, Connor? Are we gonna do it?
Yes.
Next Tuesday. A week from us recording this, it'll probably be about 4 days after you are listening to this podcast, because I know you listen to it right when it comes out. We will be having a live event, another live trivia event, Connor. Is that the plan?
Mm-hmm. Quiz Olympics.
Maybe follow it up with maybe a little gaming afterwards if we're still online and feeling a little frisky.
Oh, shit.
Live stream, Bros in the Berg on YouTube. It'll be our celebration of 100 subs that we've been at for a long time now, but we're finally going to celebrate that. Celebrate
143 subs now.
Celebrate all of our great fans. So tune in next Tuesday. Set a calendar reminder. We'll be posting on social media to remind you.
There will be 2 special guests too to on that show to compete against you guys. As a reminder, Ryan is the current defending champion.
That's right. Ryan and I each have 1 belt right now, right?
This is true. Ryan is defending it though. So and I'm thinking. I think that obviously the first one that we did was kind of a combination of sports, and the second one was an NBA edition. I'm kind of leaning towards a college football edition for this Tuesday.
Oh,
you are going to get fucking smoked. Holy shit.
Well, it's not finalized, but that's kind of what I'm leaning towards.
Can we do the stadiums one again?
We're never doing that round again. Never doing that round again.
Oh, excuse me.
Anyways, tune in for that. But thank you again for listening. Go subscribe on every social media that's out there, and please gamble responsibly.
Bye-bye.